everybody and welcome back to another Let's Build a Titan video, guys. So, what are we going to be looking at this time? Well, guys, we are nearly drawing to the end of this series, and yeah, it has been an absolute blast so far, guys. I can't get over how much fun I've had with this project. However, guys, I do have bigger and better things in the works for you. But first, guys, I will show you something that I've been working on. It is the base of the Titan. As you saw last time, it was basically just a cutting board, a cheese board, if you will. And I decided to, you know, have a little bit of a go at it. And, you know, an epic model like the Warhound, it requires an epic base. And here I have it, right here, guys. Look at this beautiful battlefield diorama that I've created. Just a slight word of warning, if anyone's ever considering using a cutting board as a base, give it time, because I did not, and I actually had several issues with this base, some of which are still a little bit evident now after I've done some work to it. As you can probably tell, guys, from this tiny little bit of rockiness that the base has, it warped. Obviously, being made out of wood, wood tends to warp if it gets wet, and I have no idea how long this particular cutting board had been in storage, and I assumed that it was very, very dry. Drier than a nun's vagina, you might say. But anyway, what I did, I kind of went whole hog, and I wanted to get this base done because I was really excited to do it, because it was a little, almost like a little terrain project in a way. So what I did, I covered the entire thing with I used the Vallejo black lava, wherever the fuck it's gone, don't know. I tidied my office, I can see it up there, but I can't get it because I need a step ladder. But anyway, I digress. I use a Vallejo black lava, which is like a texture paint type thing. It's like, it dries like volcanic lava. However, I use it as mud because when it's painted, it gives you really cool like mud effects. So I used that, and then I used PVA glue to glue. Well, not PVA glue. I used the Luke's APS's quick drying basing glue to actually glue the rocks and the rubble down. And in my zealousness, I put too much on at once, and I glued it all down. And then I picked it up, and it was warped. It was like, you know, it was so bad, the warp, and I was really pissed off because I wasted loads of materials on it. So I was trying everything. I tried like standing on it against a wall, like so that the wall was like this and the base was like that, and I was trying to like put pressure on it so that I could like bend it back. It didn't work, and in the end, what I ended up doing, I ended up running a bath, running about however thick this is, probably about half an inch. I ran about half an inch worth of bath water, and I submerged it in the bath for a couple of hours, and I took it out and I left it dry on its own, and that kind of corrected the warp a little bit. However, I found out ever since then, if it got wet, it would again go back to the way it was warping, so I had to kind of like do it in very slow stages of building it up. Speaking of building up, what have I actually done to the base? Well, aside from the black lava and the basing substrate, we've got the usual battlefield debris. It matches my Imperial Knight Army, which is what I'm going to be going for Armies on Parade this year. So I'm going to be building an Armies on Parade board, which is going to be cool. A little sneak peek for the future, guys. But we've got just some battlefield debris on here. You know, there's some broken girders. I used the gates, after all, from the Warhound's shin guards to make these kind of like bunker walls. And then inside we've got some like Skitarii. I'll just zoom in a little bit because it's almost like a little diorama going on in here. So there's like, you know, there's like a Skitarii Alpha, another Skitarii like kind of like poking his radium. Was it radium? Not radium Giselle. It's a radium carbine over the top of it, and he's like, fire! And then there's like some ammo crates here with some melter bombs, kind of like added a little bit of narrative. And then we have this other Skitarii running in the background, almost like he's got something important to deliver. It's nice to make like a little bit of a narrative. I don't know what part that is. I'm pretty sure it's part of a Space Marine tank, but it looks like a cool like I don't know, like a container or some kind of like briefcase type thing. Looks like he's running away from something, ready to maybe get get whatever data's inside here to the hands of the Skitarii Alpha. I just realised I've got loads of fluff on the barrel here, which I'm going to have to get rid of. yeah, I'll have to get the airbrush on that and blow it away. But yeah, so we got a bit more narrative going on here. We got some more boxes stacked up. We got some oh shit, we got some barrels kind of like half submerged. We just got a really, really good like war-torn kind of landscape going on. We got wet, we got dry, we got rocks, we got mud, we got dead grass. We got just tons of battlefield debris. And the actual Titan's legs, we also got skulls. I dotted loads of skulls out because, hey ho, it wouldn't be GW without a shit ton of skulls on the base. But when the legs go on it, basically there's the hole for the leg to go through. When the legs go on it, I kind of have it lined up. I tried to line it up as best I could using the mud and stuff like that. I may have to do a little bit more finagling and messing about, but it's going to be like that, and it's nice because what's going on the base doesn't draw your eye away from the really luscious green of the Warhound too much, but at the same time, when you look at it, it's like, oh, there's something going on down there, and it's just nice. It's just nice to have a look at, and it just adds a little bit more narrative and a little bit more something to the base. And I think I'm going to do, if I ever get any more Titans, which I might be doing, I'm going to be adding more of this kind of like scenario out here playing out, which is going to be quite interesting. But in other news, I decided I needed some more weapons because I looked online and the whatchamacallit, the loadout that I've got is not the greatest, mainly because the flamer is a load of shit, especially if you're not fighting infantry, you're just fighting tanks. So I decided, I know what I'd do, I'd buy this. This is a plasma blast cannon, I believe, and it has like these little capacitors here which go there and there. They're currently painted up a separate colour because I'm a firm believer in painting it the sub-assembly to get the best outcome. But yeah, this is a really cool, really chunky piece of resin. I like it. I love plasmas. It's going to give me a really good way to do some cool glowing effects on here, some object source lighting. However, you may notice that it's kind of just silver at the moment, and that is because, guys, I'm going to reveal to you, I think I've revealed this before, but I'm going to reveal it again for those of you that I don't know, because I've had a lot of people inboxing me and a lot of people asking, how do I do the green that is on the Warhound? And I'm going to show you on this, guys, because it's the only thing I can really show you on at the moment, because I don't want to have to respray a shoulder pad. But yeah, so in a second I'm going to get the airbrush out, I'm going to crank that open, and we are going to put the green on here, and I'm going to show you how that is all done. So join me in a second. Okay guys, time for the secret of the green. So first things first, what we're going to do, we're going to take our piece, we're going to take our Warhound plasma blast cannon, and we're going to mask it off basically to minimise all the off spray and stuff, because I really don't want to have to go in with a brush and repaint over Tamiya clear green once it's all dried and stuff. So we've masked off most of the model, most of the arm weapon parts, and first things first is that we're going to go in and we're going to, on these sections here, we don't mind too much about the actual trim itself, because that's going to be like our buffer zone, where we're going to, where the actual metal's going to end and where the brass or the bronze is going to start. But on these bits in between here, we're going to go and we're going to hit that with some Vallejo black. This is black metal. I think it's Negro metal. Yeah, black metal. It's just basically a black metallic. So we're going to grab our trusty Badger Patriot 105. I'm just going to plop some of that into the airbrush, like so. If I actually have some left. I don't have much left. What is going on? Wow, this is a great start for a painting tutorial, isn't it? There we go, some of it came out there. Now, we don't need a hell of a lot of this. We don't need to make it so that it's absolutely completely black. We just want to do mainly the bits. Sorry about the airbrush noise, guys, if that's irritating. Nothing I can really do about that. Might be able to do something about it in post. But yeah, so we're just going to spray that all over there, and then we're going to set that down. Make sure it's all over there. I'm going to set that down, and we're going to leave it to dry. Right, now that that black metal has moderately dried, it still looks very, very shiny for me. That's just the actual black metallic in the way, reflecting the light from my my rig. We're going to go in after that with some Ironbreaker Air. Now, you can use any kind of silver. What you're going to make sure, that it's a very bright silver. This is okay. I could go brighter with this one. Actually, this is the first one that I picked when I started doing the Warhound Titan. So this is what I've obviously got to stick with. The brighter the silver, the more vivid that green will pop, and also a better gradient you'll get from the black to the silver. So what we're going to do, we're just going to shake that up a little bit, make sure that it's good and mixed, and then I'm just going to dump the contents of this airbrush out. Just going to make sure that there's no excess moisture in there. And we're going to drip a little bit of Ironbreaker. Now again, you don't need a lot of this, we're not covering those bits. What we're trying to do, we're trying to achieve a kind of gradient with the airbrush here. So it's kind of difficult on the smaller areas, so you kind of have to just kind of go in very, very gently. So we kind of want that little, it's very hard to see actually, there we go, you can see it better there. We want that gradient, we want that light spot in the middle with the dark spots either side. And we want to go here as well and kind of go on these bits. And again, on any kind of edges, you're almost kind of like pre-edge highlighting it. Pre-edge highlighting, we'll go with that. We want to make sure that it's actually a lot brighter. Now, one of the things with Ironbreaker that I do find I'm not really a big fan of is it kind of pools like this. I don't know whether that's a bad batch that I've got, but I'm not really a fan. So what I find I have to do is I have to actually go over multiple times with the Ironbreaker. There we go, and then I'll find a little bit in there. So what I'll probably do, sometimes what I try and do is, oh, I can't actually put that down where I would normally put it down, otherwise all the paint is going to fall out of it. Hold on. Sometimes what I like to do as well, I like to steal a hairdryer off my wife, and I like to use a bit of a hairdryer on some of these bits just to kind of like make them dry a little bit better, even though this is going to have a terrible, terrible noise. Sorry for you headphone listeners. There you go, thank you to my wife's hairdryer there. That should have dried the surface up just enough so that I can kind of get rid of this like weird kind of like pooling, especially up here. So I'm just going to poof that on, again, very lightly, using the gradient. So as you can see, we've got a nice light to dark gradient going on there on the edges, so from the center point outwards it actually gets darker, and this is what's going to give us that cool kind of metallic color. We're actually going to go, we're going to do a little dab here, and then we're going to do another little dab. We're going to use some of the airbrush actual spray, just the air to like dry it up a little bit, and we're going to do another little dib and a little dab. That's right, maybe another little dib and a little dab there, and then another one there, and then another one there, and then we're going to let that totally dry. I'm going to pop that lid back down, I'm going to clean this airbrush out, and then we're going to come back in a second for the one of the final steps. Right guys, so now that we've given this time to dry, it's nice and dry to the touch, we're going to move on to the crucial paint in regards to what I use to do the technique with, and that is this stuff here. This is Tamiya Clear Green. It's X25, it's an alcohol based paint, and it's relatively cheap as model paints go. I like to warm my alcohol based paints up a little bit because they're very, very viscous and very, very thick, just to help it flow a little bit better. This is a brand new pot. I found I get the best results to do this technique with a fresh pot of Tamiya Clear Green, mainly because I've done it with stuff that I've maybe left for a while, or maybe stuff that I haven't gone to in a while, and it doesn't give the same glossy kind of see-through effect. It goes nice, but not as nice as a brand new fresh pot. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a shake. I'm going to pop it open, and it's a lovely green. It really is good. I mean, it's super thick, super colourful, but like I said, because it's alcohol based and it's a gloss paint basically, it gives you a much nicer finish. Now, I've only seen this effect achieved decently with an airbrush in regards to how it goes. I've never seen anyone successfully brush this on because you leave quite a lot of brush marks. So what we're going to do, we're going to dribble a little bit of that in there, like that. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a test, make sure there's no water in the system, because we don't want to mix it with water, because as we know, alcohol and water don't really go together that well. And all we're going to do is we're going to apply a really liberal layer all over it, like this. And as you can see, it starts to get that glossy green quite well. And what this will do, this will also pool itself. So oh god, a bit too thick there. But we do want to kind of go that thick, so you can pull back quite hard on your trigger and just make sure that you get this kind of shine to it. As you can see there, I'm about to also run out of recording time, guys, so I do apologise if this is cut short, dead quick. But hopefully we've got enough time to actually get this effect done. And there we go, guys. I'll just need to do a little bit under there, and then that's it. That's pretty much how you do. You've got to leave it to dry, and then we'll come back to it in just a second. Right, so I've been away, guys. As you can see, I've been painting, I've been gluing, I've been sorting things out, and I have come up with sticky stuff on my fingers. Great, brilliant, absolutely wonderful. No, I've come up with these. That's right, guys. So I've finished the plasma blast cannon, although a little bit of a disaster happened with the liquid mask, because I like using the liquid mask to mask off the nice green before I do any of the other painting on it. It actually peeled away some of the green, which I'm a little bit annoyed about, but hey ho. I don't really want to go and strip the whole thing back to bare resin and then start it over again. So we'll just say it's battle damage, won't we? Yeah, that's what we'll do. Just say it's battle damage. But yeah, so I glued the rest of the bits on. I glued the arm socket in with the magnet. Got a big beefy neodymium magnet in there, and I glued the little capacitors, or whatever you want to call these, on the back of it as well. I decided to go with like a brass colour as opposed to bronze. Is it bronze? I don't even know. What even is this? This says brassy brass. Well, what's this then? This is just brass. Okay, so I have been saying it right. There's two different types of brass. So from now on, we'll refer to this one as the orange brass, and this one will be the yellow brass. So I decided to do the yellow brass on the capacitors and the orange brass on the trim to obviously tie in with the rest of the Titan. And I did like a kind of small, nothing too major, glowy effect on the plasma coils right there. And it's just enough to give a nice little bit of a glow. It's actually really quite vibrant on the camera, which I'm very happy with. And yeah, so that's pretty much done. I've got a few little touch-ups, a little bits of weathering to do, but other than that, it is pretty much done, guys. And with that, we draw ever closer to the end of the Let's Build a Warhound Titan series of videos. So, if you'd like this video, don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What do you think of this Plasma Blast gun? What do you think of the Titan so far? How things are progressing? Love to hear your thoughts on that. Don't forget to check out the Facebook group, and don't forget to check out the Instagram. Links are all in the doobly-doo down below. So with that, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. See you now, and goodbye.